Did you know one multifamily property can add an average of about $1 million to your net worth? But if you're not already in the multifamily space,
How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. There's some people that really want Bitcoin to go down. They're really pissed off that it keeps on moving up. And I want to show you one of those people here today. And to be clear, it is someone that's a media personality, a YouTuber, Gareth Soloway, who's been shorting Bitcoin since 35K and then 48K and then 56 and 60. He said that he'd close out at 70K, but he just talked about how he thinks Bitcoin could hit 15K again. And he says there's no narrative, that buyers are kind of exhausted. And to be clear, I'm not trying to roast him. I don't want anyone to go over to his page and say anything bad or anything like that. You can have your own theories, right? You can have your own investment practices. But I think this is a slippery slope, telling people that you think the market's going to go down because a lot of people will miss out on life-changing gains. And we've shown this this kind of thought process before from Gareth, and then we've talked about from even other Twitter accounts that are supposed to talk about cryptocurrencies, and usually in a positive light, but they said that Bitcoin at 70K is much too high, that it should fall down to 60, then 50, then 40, then 30, eventually down to 10. And then they said they would go maybe 2 to 3K because 10 is too generous. So, there are people that are out there that are trying to FUD you for one, probably because they're underwater on a short position, or for two, so that they can buy long. Like Gareth says that he is pro Bitcoin, but yet in this video that I'm about to play, he talks about Bitcoin hitting 15K. So I don't know. This is kind of crazy. I just wanted to show it because this is kind of nuts to hear. If you don't mind though, hit subscribe, turn on the bell notification underneath the video so you can see future videos just like this. If you think Bitcoin's going in the opposite direction from what Gareth says, like most of the market, you can check out the link underneath the video to Margex where you can long or short Bitcoin. If you do think Gareth's right, you can go short Bitcoin. It's your money. And you can set this up with no KYC. You don't need a VPN. So you can set this up in just a few seconds. You can deposit money or deposit crypto. You can buy crypto through the app. I would suggest transferring it just because it's a little bit cheaper from some other wallet. And if you're not welcome on other exchanges, you're always welcome over at Margex. Now, of course, make sure you read their terms and conditions to make sure that you are allowed to trade over on Margex. There's also a link down there to HG Algo in case you want to see bullish and bearish momentum signals. This can be really helpful in markets. Now, let me play for you what Gareth just said, and then we'll talk about it throughout.
Good answer for you from where you see Bitcoin at the end of May.
Well, I said a pullback to 49 to 50,000.
49, you believe that?
By the end of May, I think we could see that, yeah. And I wouldn't even be surprised if it's come sooner, considering we already dipped. Like, think about from 69 today down to 59, now we're back to 50 to 63. But I mean, if you, let's just say we get your run-of-the-mill 3 to 4% pullback in the stock market, easily that could pull us back on Bitcoin. People have to realize also that the inflows into ETFs are something that's great. It pushes extra Bitcoin upside. But it also, like, if people got in and all of a sudden they saw this volatility today and they're like, wait a minute, I didn't realize Bitcoin could move 14% in a day. I got to sell my ETF. The ETFs then have to sell Bitcoin. So it works both ways. And any sort of drawdown in the stock market will have a short-term impact on Bitcoin. Maybe not a long-term, but short-term impact.
You don't think that people going into Bitcoin?
Now, I'm going to keep on playing this for you. I just wanted to pause it for a second. We'll get to his $15,000 prediction and some other things that he says about Bitcoin, but this obviously took place not yesterday, but the day before, based on him saying that there's a 14% move in a day. And he said that maybe buyers would be thrown off by this. They wouldn't want to buy something so volatile. That same day, we saw $663 million in inflows. And BlackRock had a record day. Yesterday, we had $332 million in inflows. Keep in mind, some of these days, the stock market was down. Like, it's not correlated necessarily, which is going to come into play in a second when he talks about the 15K prediction. But the buyers aren't stopping. It's not like, Bitcoin's a little bit volatile, we better stop selling our clients the ETFs. No, like BlackRock continues to buy. They're putting it in this strategic income opportunities fund. So they're going to allocate towards it in other funds that they have so they can make more money on the fees. I mean, it's like a double fee then. And they're just going to go throw a bunch of allocation at their ETF. MicroStrategy is going to continue to buy. They don't care about volatility. They're buying $700 million worth. We got news that the Stanford Endowment bought Bitcoin at 45K. We got news that Arizona pensions are trying to buy Bitcoin. Like, these players know that there's going to be volatility. They don't really care. Like, BlackRock is not going to go to all their clients and say, actually, Bitcoin's down 14% today. So I know we talked to you about getting to a 1 or 2% allocation. We're going to hold off because it's a little bit too volatile for you. No, they're going to buy. They continue to buy. They have an allocation and they're 1/10 what they want to be if they want to get to a 1% allocation with their AUM. So they're still very underallocated. There are countries that aren't going to treat this as a scary thing. Bitcoin's falling 14% in a day. No, BlackRock literally just bought everyone that was liquidated. They just bought them out of their positions, essentially. Like, they bought $1 billion worth, or almost $1 billion worth of Bitcoin, right? That's about what was liquidated that day. So they're going to continue to buy. But let's keep on playing this. Let's keep on playing from Gareth here.
Even buy an ETF are aware that this is a very volatile asset. I mean, I would think that they've already calculated in their mind that this asset moves like no other and should be used to the stomach churning of 14% in a day.
I think the investor that's buying in at 65 to 60